some motorcyclists who do their best to keep their motorcycle in pristine condition. And then I know others who feel that the dirt, bugs, and grime are some badge of honor. Now personally, I feel that I fall into the first group. Don't get me wrong, I do enjoy riding my motorcycle, and I'm not ashamed of those bugs and dirt that get collected on the road. But I also don't like to let them gather for too long before they get cleaned off. By now, you are probably more than familiar with the simple fact that the Baptist bikers took a trip to Maggie Valley on Memorial Day weekend in 2022. Now, I found out on that trip that many of my friends are also fastidious about how they take care of their motorcycles. I know this because the day we all checked into the motel, I came out of my room and I found 6 guys sitting beside their motorcycles, various cleaners and spray waxes set out, furiously scrubbing the collected grime from their rides in preparation for the ride that we would be taking the following day. The truth is, many of us have quite a bit of money invested into these machines. We want to do everything possible to preserve them and ensure that they last us a long, long time. My wife has been known to tell me that she thinks I will polish the paint right off of mine if I'm not careful. We all have things in our lives that we are careful to take care of, almost to the point of obsession. But we do it because these things matter to us. We take pride in them, whatever they might be. My son, for example, has a truck that he's restoring, and it is obvious that he will polish that thing every chance he gets once it's finally complete. My wife has an affinity for keeping the house as clean as possible because it's something that is important to her. I have friends who take great pride in their construction projects, and they do them well. I have friends who are very particular about how they dress. I could keep going, but I don't think it's necessary because I'm sure you get the point. Now, these aren't the only things that matter to us. It's just that sometimes we can tell what truly is important to someone by the way they care for it. Now, I just don't take care of my motorcycle, and my wife doesn't just take care of our house. These are just examples. We can all think of something that we go the extra mile to care for. What about the way we tend to the gifts that we have been given by God? Do we put the same effort into tending to those things, to being good stewards of God's gifts? Sadly, the answer is probably no. At least no to the degree that not the way that we should. Some people rationalize that their material possessions are a gift from God. And I'm not going to say that they aren't, but I will say that if they are, they should certainly be considered among the lesser gifts we should concern ourselves with. What are the gifts that we should be most attentive to? I'm almost afraid to answer that question because the list is extensive, and it does vary for each of us. But there are some constants that exist for all of us. Here are a few that come to mind. Reading the Bible, communicating with God regularly, our families, and our fellow man, just to name a few. Now let's examine a few of these just to see how we can truly care for and foster these gifts from God. The Bible is God's Word. How are we to understand what God desires for our lives, the relationship that He seeks with us, if we do not spend time reading and studying the gift of His Word to us? All of our answers can be found in the pages of the Bible. Every facet of our lives can and should be wrapped up in the absolute truths we find in the Bible. In short, we should take care to read the Bible and make it a vital part of each day of our lives. Prayer is another gift from God. He has given us a means of direct communication with Him. We are granted the ability to bend the ear of the Maker of heaven and earth. How incredible is that? Why wouldn't we take advantage of this amazing gift? We cast our cares, our fears, our wants, our needs at His feet, and we trust that He will answer those prayers to His glory. Our families and our fellow man were the next items I listed, and I want to talk about them together. Our families are one of the most precious earthly gifts that we have been given, and it is so important that we build strong, healthy relationships within our families, caring for one another in every way possible. Beyond our families, we have the rest of the people that God has placed on this earth. Jesus gave this command, to love as He loves, in the Gospel of John. A new commandment I give to you, that you love one another, just as I have loved you. You also are to love one another. By this, all people will know that you are my disciples, if you have love for one another. We demonstrate that love by exhibiting the love of Christ, living out His presence in our lives, and sharing Him with those we love. Now, that's an interesting phrase in the context of the verse that we just looked at. Those we love. Jesus commanded us to love one another. There's not a selection process. It's pretty clear on who we should love. Everyone. That doesn't mean we'll be best of friends with every soul alive. We will still have our differences, but we can still love in our hearts. What better way to demonstrate love for one another than to share Christ with them? And there it is. We have come back to the Great Commission yet again. We can share the gospel in so many ways. Through our words, our actions, the demonstration of sincere love, and the great thing is, we can do it anywhere we are. We each have innate gifts that lend themselves to our own unique manner of sharing the gospel. Consider these words found in 1 Peter. As each has received a gift, use it to serve one another, as good stewards of God's varied grace. God has given so much to us, and we are often blind to many of those gifts. Yes, we should take care of the things that we own. We cannot let them become idols in our lives. What is more important is that we tend to our gift of salvation and genuinely care for those around us enough that we present them with the gospel whenever we can, in whatever way we can. That is some of the greatest stewardship we could ever demonstrate for God's kingdom.